When I was about 26 years old, this is what my CV looked like. Then I asked myself the question, if I were an employer, would I hire myself? And the answer, of course, was no, because I was all over the place. And basically, yeah, what did I do? Well, everything. I did everything. I traveled across Europe after being thrown out of high school. And then I worked a bit, and I earned some money, and then did some more travel. And then I met some people, and they started this alternative movie house in Hilversum, and I helped them to set it up. And then I started my own booking agency, and then I flunked that 2 years later. And then I did logistics, I did sales, I did product management, you name it, I did it. And there were more and more consulting gigs. And at a certain point, I asked myself, well, what is the point of this CV? And I didn't actually realize that I was living in the penthouse of Maslow, and I had no need to go to lower floors. I was just doing whatever I pleased. And basically, that I liked the idea of the consulting gig because it's a gig, you go in and basically you do your job, you go away next, which is nice. So I then realized that the word for what I did was consulting, and I was a consultant. And for a consultant, this is not a bad starting point as a CV because you have a very broad experience. So I only realized that I was living a dream when I was 26. It's not like I had a dream and I go do it. I just realized it was living me already. Now, this guy had a dream too. He wanted to make music with his friends. He wanted to compose music. He wants to do a small gig every now and then. And then what happened to him was that he had some smash hits worldwide, and then the people asked him to come play stadiums and big venues, and his managers and promoters and record company, they all wanted something from him, and he ended up living someone else's dream, no longer his dream. So if you have a dream, be very careful whose dream it is that you're figuring in, because it might not even be yours. That is point one. And there's another point. That is, what is a valid dream? Because if you look at big sports guys, if you look at big entrepreneurs, all they do is they care about what they do each day. Steffi Graf is way more concerned about the ball that's approaching her and that she's able to hit it back within the lines than she is with the prizes that she won or the money that she made. So that is the result of a dream, and that is not the dream itself. So who's dreaming of Rolls Royces and big houses and a lot of money? You're afraid.
If you have no money when they come knocking at your door.
What can happen, and what you see also in big entrepreneurs and big sports guys, is that basically they attribute a whole lot of influence on their lives to themselves. They think they can largely sort of influence whatever happens to them with what they do themselves. And it helps if you believe in a God or a higher power also, but if you're from the kind that basically likes to blame everyone else, then better don't start, live your dream, help someone else do it. That's the message. This is the fun part. When I first started my booking agency, a long time ago, I'm the granddad of the lineup today, then what you notice is that when you start telling people about your dream, your idea, then you get all sorts of nice reactions, like, what do you know? You know nothing, you have no experience, it will flunk, and you get all this advice for free. So whatever you do, there's always a reaction from other people. It may be you buy something and it flunks or it's wrong. It may be that you hire someone and it's not what you look for. So basically, reactions can come in all sorts of forms. And the art is to sort of notice that it's just reaction and it's input for you to train you to become better. There's no personal meaning or load or whatever in there. You just accept it as such and you act on it. And then basically you start to be able to attribute more and more power and more influence to your own behavior. Now, what you should be able to do is to be able to filter all the information that you get. Steffi Graf would highly unlikely hire me as her new trainer. She might if she wants a good laugh, but if she wants to have progress, then basically better search for someone else. Now, you should be able to filter out the sense from the nonsense in all the information that you get, and you should also be wary about the time it takes you to do all this nonsense information and process it and think on it. You should sort of cut yourself off of that and make sure that you're surrounded with the people and the processes that actually help you. For example, if I were to do administrative tasks, which are completely and utterly boring, and I stink at it, so then that doesn't help me. I should find someone, I should find a way that someone can provide me with adequate and trustworthy financial and administrative information. I should do that myself. So, and the interpretation will learn you what you can and cannot do yourself. Now, here's a little thing. This is a few things that you might actually want to remember when you're living a dream. But what if you don't know if you have a dream and if you will have any chance of living it? Then, if you were to start a company, you would actually give it thought, right? And you would give it a lot of thought too. So why not, if you yourself, if you start to live your dream, why would you not give it even more thought than a company? Because you are more valuable to you than a company, aren't you? Who thinks he is more valuable or she is more valuable than a company? Ah, thank you. So basically, you can look at what your character is and what your capabilities are and what your knowledge says that you can do, and you can watch your environment and see whether or not there's any fit and whether or not you might have any success of applying these capabilities and this knowledge in the given situation. And what you can also think of is the business model in which you want to do that. Because for me, as I said, I like the consulting gig. I want to come in, I want to do my job, and then basically after I do it, then there may be some impact, I might help people, and I'm out. So I don't care if I work for an employer or if I'm self-employed, because basically I don't give a beep about money, because it's a result. And if Kurt Cobain would have been advised that he might have changed his business model, he might have sold his music to the Pixies, which he hated, by the way, and they would have these smash hits with his music, then he would still have a lot of money, and he would have a nice lifestyle, the one he liked actually when he got into music. So there was no one advising him on his business model. It's something to think about. There's a third thing to think about. This is the famous cooperation between the pig and the chicken, where the chicken comes up to the pig and he asks him, "What do you think? Shall we open a ham and eggs restaurant? We will make a lot of money if we do so." And then the pig is committed and the chicken is involved. The chicken will go home at 5 o'clock in the evening, no harm done, but I'm a bit worried about the pig. So you may also want to ask yourself what the type of commitment is you will have to this dream, or the type of involvement. Because if you're married and you have children, then basically you might want to be involved, but not at least financially committed. So you can also think about what it will do to your situation if you start living it, and how you can maximize or minimize the commitment that you're in. Now, this is all very nice. This is step 1, by the way, in a Zen meditation, which starts with the question, what is it that I want to do? And if you can come up with a logical answer, and be very careful, because if you're intelligent, you can fool yourself in very intelligent ways, then if you can come up with good answers, then there's a chance you might go to step number 2. If you can't, go back to the question, what is it that I want to do? This is step number 2 in that same Zen meditation. You go, relax, close your eyes. You think you are performing all the tasks that you envisage in your dream. And you find out and you ask yourself, am I happy doing this? If not, back to square one. What is it that I want to do? But if you are, you may finally arrive at a point where you may give it hands and feet, and you may give it some body, and you may start to do things.
Give it hands, my friend. Both hands. Give it feet. Give it voice. Yeah, give it voice.
Now we're in the phase that we're actually living a dream. If you have children, or if you like drinking beers with your friends, then you have to seriously unclutter your life to make progress with your dream. Because if your dream is this direction, and your kids are here, and basically drinking beer is here, then the resultant factor is nicely in the center of the axis. So there's no progress whatsoever in any direction. So basically, it's a matter of choice where you put your effort. And if you look at most successful entrepreneurs, most successful sports people, most successful scientists, they put tremendous amounts of work and time in what they think is most important to them. And then the rest is behind that. And now, if you're not willing to do that, then you will not make progress. And in quantum mechanics types of terms, the probability of your tendency to exist of your dream is zilch. So there's one very pleasant surprise, that is discipline. I'm not really a disciplined guy. I like it when the adrenaline gets flowing and things need to be done like yesterday, and when there's pressure. But what you will notice is when you like what you're doing, you like the journey, then basically the discipline will come automatically because you love what you're doing. You don't care long hours. You don't care if it's tedious. You don't care if you need to do a lot more than you were actually planning. So basically, this is a gift, what you get from living your dream. Now, today, I actually thought I would have 3 things for you. I told you 2. The things that you might want to remember when you live a dream. The second, the method to find out whether or not you should be living a dream and if you have one. And the third one is a piece of anti-blues music. It is the music that says, stop whining, go out there, do something, and live your dream. Bye.
It's by a wrong.